Hi, this is Catherine. This is Taking Tea with Catherine. This is decaf mango tea from Hardy & Sons, which I thought is a good Friday evening tea, which it's almost there now. So I wanted to do a Friday reads, and I don't get to do them very often because I'm quite busy on Fridays, so I thought I'd just stick one in later on the day. Why not? See if it goes out now or tomorrow. We'll see. I don't do a lot of editing, so I can usually do release it pretty quickly. So I thought I'd do a Friday reads and a book haul because yes, I did happen to stop by a bookshop today. But they had a sale. It was Argosy bookshop, and they have apparently an annual basement sale, which was a lot of fun. So I'll show you what I got there. And I noticed that the older gentlemen of booktube, they call themselves the OGBGs, the old geezer book something, are back to their warring ways. One of them does a haul, and this causes another to declare war and do their own haul, and back and forth. Now, I am not a warring person usually, beyond the occasional cat fight. And I thought, since this week is 40 years since John Lennon died, sadly, I will make it a Give Peace a Chance book haul. I don't know. I couldn't figure out a way of abbreviating me middle-aged something. So we'll go peace in our time here. Anyway, so I'll start with certain things that I'm reading, and I mentioned in my last video that I want to talk more about, not more about, but also include journals that I read. So here's two journals that I have that I think I'll look into this weekend. This is, I think, the second one. I have the first, issue 002. Can't wait for the seventh one. Will they talk about James Bond? But anyway, I'm so corny. Anyway, so this is O Reader. It is just about reading books and stuff. And it's got a redhead, kind of. You know, I used to be a redhead. I don't know why. I identify with redheads, and I'm not. It's kind of strange. I was a fake redhead, but what can I say? We're not always, you know. Anyway, so this is a great magazine, at least so far, about reading that I found in Barnes and Noble, and it's so cozy, and it has a variety of different people writing in here. So let's see what articles do I think are interesting. One is How I Choose a Book, a 13-step guide. I haven't read this yet, so obviously I'm saying it's interesting, and it might not be. Let's see. Oh, When to Give Up on a Book and How to Rehabilitate Bad Reading Habits by Kat Woods. I kind of like that name. Ode to the Doctor, not the Doctor, but other Doctor, Dr. Seuss. That's fine. Want to be an anti-racist? Read the works of radical black women. So there's going to be some suggestions here that I shall read about by Deanna Ayers. And The World of Books, bookstores around the globe. I love stuff like that. I love looking at pictures of bookshops in other lands, in other cities. I don't care where, but anywhere. I like this one, even though I don't really like watching people eat. I know that's a really weird thing that I have, but still, man, eating, taking a break, surrounded by books, love that. I'm going to see if I can, I'm not going to do it now, too much pressure. I'm going to see if I can read that, and if I can understand it at all. I do better with diacritics, which, you know, are basically the vowel things that they put on the bottom. It's hard to explain Arabic. How a book about a piano sent me to the jungles of Burma. And they're calling it Burma. It's been Myanmar for years, but when I was younger, I used to somehow always get assigned, whenever it was like any class I was in, whenever there was like an assignment about a country, I always got Burma and then Myanmar. The outer world of social media and the inner world of the novel. The life that perceives itself changing. On reading Octavia Butler's Parable of the Sower alongside Anne Frank's Diary of a Young Girl. Wow. The curative power of chick lit. I quite agree. I'm not a big chick lit per se reader. I'm sorry about my hair today, by the way. It's a disaster. What can I do? Let's see, what else? Letters by the Numbers? I don't know. It's weird because I'm not really into math, but sometimes I can be. The year the library is closed, we still had the libraries. We still have the libraries, I don't know. There's a picture of the library in here. Okay, so there's a lot to read about in here, and if I'm impressed by this one, I might go on and read the next one. I like the first one so far, for the most part. This is the London Review of Books, which is obviously something I like because it's London. I am so London-centric. It's so sad. But anyway, I haven't really had a chance to look at it yet. I only got it last night. But I did see something that, when they say you can never find. Yeah, sorry. I just had to find this page. It's like there's never time to read all the books. But anyway, I saw another book about Mary Wollstonecraft, and I'm like, oh my goodness, I just returned the book to the library about romantic outlaws, and I'm like, now I know about another book. Oh boy, it never ends, but that's okay. And I haven't really looked in here much, so I'm not going to show you too much of this, but I just thought, it's nice to have. I like these journals. They're really fun. And did I mention this already? I can't remember now. My memory is very short term right now, but I have a long weekend. I'm not going anywhere. I think probably not. It's probably rainy and cold this weekend anyway, but mainly I just have vacation days. I didn't take too many vacation days this year. I did take some, but not enough. So I took 2 more days. It's a 4-day weekend. Almost every week now in December I'll have a 4-day weekend. I'm not complaining about that. And I'm trying to use a lot of that for reading, but we'll see how that goes. So I'm going to show you the books that, because I'd actually had 2 days off additionally this week. I'll show you which books I finished. I don't know, I'm not going to get into them too much. I'm going to do wrap-ups and whatnot, and tea and mystery. But I did finish Hamnet by Maggie O'Farrell. I've got a lot to say about it, but not right now. For the most part, I liked it though, so it's not a bad review at all. I finally finished Ring the Hill by Tom Cox. It was hard because I knew he was going to talk about his cats dying, even though I'd read about, he'd written blogs and whatnot about his cats dying, but it's just, I wasn't looking forward to it in the book. But I got there, and this was great. It was just one big ramble. I just love his books. And I finished A Word is Murder by Anthony Horowitz, so this will be the tea and mystery. I figured out who did it. I don't know why. I got that. Anyway, so here are the books that I plan to read this weekend. I might have other books that I will read this weekend, but these are the ones I want to focus on. This one I'm almost finished. Excuse me. This one I'm almost finished with. Finally, Take Courage, Anne Bronte and the Art of Life by Samantha Ellis. Started in January, wanted to keep reading, but was angry because she was spoiling Anne Bronte's books. Then I talked to myself and said, "Self, you're being silly. Of course she's going to talk about her books. This is a book about Anne Bronte. How are you not going to talk about her novels?" And give away spoilers. So that I came to terms with, but I also was a little annoyed that she also got pretty far into plot points and spoilers of some of Charlotte Bronte's books and Emily's, but I'm like, okay, yeah, but we're still writing about the sisters, so I guess that's what happens. She also includes, ow, my cat is hitting me. Janie, I insist. She says that you're talking about Brontes, and I'm named after their nemesis, although really they're not. I think Anne Bronte actually liked Jane Austen a little bit, but anyway, what was I going to say? Oh my goodness. Oh yeah, so she gives away spoilers, slight spoilers anyway, for Jamaica Inn by Daphne du Maurier, and I was like, are you kidding? She was talking about stuff that happened in The Crimson Petal and the White, by, I think it's Michael Faber, which is a book that was written in the past, I don't know, I guess 15 years or so. But it takes place in Victorian times. It's pretty well known because it was mentioned on Gilmore Girls, but I had read it before that. But it gives away some stuff. And I think that's not the only ones that she talks about. And I'm like, okay, you spoil a Bronte here and there, fine. But who's to say anyone has read Jamaica Inn? I happen to have read Jamaica Inn, and I happen to have read The Crimson Petal. But that was a little bit obnoxious, I think. Anyway, but it is a good book. I do think, though, do Do I have it? I think I put it up here somewhere. Yeah, I moved a few books around. I want to read the Juliet Barker book. That's like the main big chunky Bronte book. I think I might like that one more. I don't hate this. I think there's so many good bits. A little comparison between, I think it was Agnes Grey and Emma, which was out of nowhere, which I thought was a kind of interesting point. So there are some bits in here that I think are really good, but I'm also like, stop spoiling things. Ugh. Anyway, but I'm looking forward to finishing it, if that makes sense. This is a book I've been reading for a couple months now, and this is Modern Tea, A Fresh Look at an Ancient Beverage. I kind of feel like in my reading life, I want to have a book about tea going constantly, because if I'm going to call myself an expert on tea, which I don't call myself an expert in terms of like the tea tasters, the tea masters, etc., all these expressions, but I'm talking about the everyday expert, you know, a person who has done lots of reading on tea, has tasted and tried a lot of different teas, and does not have the ability to travel to a lot of places, so has to do the reading version of it. So I think I can call myself that, because I've been reading about tea for 25 years plus. I mean, but I feel like I say that, but some books I haven't picked up in a while, so I want to keep having a book going about tea. And I think I could do that, generally. If I go a couple weeks without having done so, that's not a big deal, but you know. Speaking of having books going, I would also kind of like to, I mean, I always like to be reading a mystery or two, but I think I always want to have something Sherlock Holmes related going on in my reading. And if I'm not, maybe Agatha Christie. You know, like, not because they're rivals at all, but just because, I mean, they're not quite rivals, but I mean, Conan Doyle and Agatha Christie knew each other. Conan Doyle was asked to look into Agatha Christie's disappearance as well. Did you know that? Probably, but maybe not. Anyway, but generally, I think, yes, I would like to be reading more Agatha Christie. I haven't been in the past couple of months, so that is something I want to get back into. But I also feel like something is right when I'm in the middle of something Sherlock Holmes related. It doesn't have to be a book by Arthur Conan Doyle. Oh, I don't have it here, but I did take home from my office the biography of Conan Doyle. I don't think I'll be reading it anytime soon. But I got this book out of the library, and I just started it, so I can't really talk much about it. But it's Body on Baker Street, a Sherlock Holmes bookshop mystery. I've read 2 of them already. As you probably saw from The Word is Murder, that was the first book in what should be a series, and I had read the second one first. In this case, I had read the first book first, and then I found, I took out, I think it was like the 4th or 5th book, didn't realize it was, and read that and realized there are certain things that have moved forward that I didn't remember. So now I've gone to what I think is the second one, if not, whatever. But I love these. I love the series so far. It's about a place in, I think, Cape Cod, where called West London, which I think is fictional, on a street called Baker Street, where Gemma Doyle runs a shop that is basically a Sherlock Holmes bookshop and other things, but mostly that. And she is very much like Sherlock Holmes. She observes things and is able to tell things about people just by looking at them, etc. And so she obviously stumbles into crimes, because, you know, that's what happens in life, and helps solve them. And there's a cat in the front. That's Moriarty, who loves everybody, is a great bookshop cat, but doesn't like Gemma. You know, because why not? And there is an adjoining tea room, so this is all up my alley. So I'm pretty happy to have that out. And last but not least, as far as reading this weekend, probably, I picked up once again Shirley, but I'm reading it out of the paperbacks. I just thought, you know, I'm going to get rid of it, so I might as well just give it a chance. But I'm kind of finding it annoying. I took it because I thought I'd read it on the subway, which I did. But I do find the constantly in this book. I don't mind a few notes. I don't mind a few underlining pages, but this is just constant and badly done. Badly done, Emma. So, but I want to get back into Shirley, and I mean, I would like to also finish Dombey and Sons, but I'm not going to get too ahead of myself. Shirley, I do feel a bit of a pull towards, so let's hope for it, right? All right, so now just moving on to the haul. I'm incorrigible, but yeah, I happened to pass by it, and then I saw that they had these big sales and I love a good sale. And I'll show you some of the things I found. Oh, this one fell over. I have been, ever since, I know I mentioned a while back that I used to go to the Mid-Manhattan Library to check out most of my books when I was getting back into reading again. And they had so many books, and there were just so little time. And I used to see this writer, and of course I noticed her name because it's a very well-known name. It's a different person, of course, but so Elizabeth Taylor. I've seen that name. I've heard good things about her as a novelist. Let's see, is there a picture of her? Yeah. Here she is. Hello. I think this book came out when she was still alive. I think, because it really looks like it. Yeah, it looks like 1947. I don't know when she died. I'm very much assuming she's dead because 1912 is quite some time ago. But anyway, this is A View from the Harbor. I don't know much about it, but it is a full, rich novel by Elizabeth Taylor, which sounds like they're talking about coffee or something. So if you all have read this, let me know, please, if it's any good. And then I saw this in the sale area. It's already, like, I think it has actually come apart a little bit since I brought it home, but that's okay, because it was really cheap. And this is Of Making Many Books by Roger Burlingame. And it is just about writing, and talks about writing and reading and stuff, which is totally, as I say, up my alley. And then the other two books are very much in keeping with having read that Romantic Outlaws, and being, you know, brought back into the world of the romantics again. I tried to avoid them for a while, and they just insisted on coming back into my life. And I have a biography on hand about Mary Shelley. I don't think I have one about Percy Shelley, although I have read some. So I have to get that. I have Coleridge. I have something related to Wordsworth. I'm not sure if it's directly him. I have biographies of Keats. And so I'm still working on certain ones, but this is definitely going to help complete my biography collection. I hope this is a good one, because it's a big one. This is Byron, Child of Passion, Fool of Fame by Benita Eisler. The name sounds a little bit, I don't know, wonky, and I hope it's not, you know, too, I don't know what the word is, but I still kind of just wanted to get my hands on a biography, and it was on sale, and I was very happy about that, and we'll see if I don't like it. It wasn't a big loss. I was especially, you know, I know I mentioned, I buried it, Take Courage, and, you know, even though some things annoy me about this book, I still enjoy it. But there was a little discussion about Byron, because the Brontes probably read some Byron, so how that might have been an influence, and how their brother might have fancied himself a bit Byronic and maybe ironic. I don't know. Poor guy. So then I was again thinking about him. You know how this happens, and so I wasn't quite finished with Byron, who, you know, was quite the character. But I saw this, and I don't know, it just had kind of an old school, I'm trying to see when this was published, 1973, so that's not that long ago. I know, before I was born, but not that long before I was born. It looked like the publisher was John Murray, which I think was his publisher. And also, I think Jane Austen's publisher. Yeah, anyway, side point. So this is Lord Byron's family, Annabella, Ada, and Augusta. So that should be interesting. Was it he name all of his daughters after, with A? Like, Allegra, etc.? I don't know. But anyway, this is by Malcolm Elwyn, I guess is the name. Is he in here? Oh, yeah. That's him with a beret on, I think. He looks very happy to have written books. Oh, he worked on the Lovelace Papers. Is it Lovelace or Lovelace? Doesn't matter. I'll figure it out. For the last 15 years of his life. Oh. So that's fantastic. Oh, I guess that was a project of his, so I hope this comes to fruition. Anyway, so that should be interesting. Anna Lovelace, whatever, in case I haven't mentioned it before, was one of his daughters, Lord Byron's daughters, and she turned out to be like one of the first, I think, what you might call a computer programmer. Like, she was a mathematician in the Victorian era, and her work is important to computer programming of now. Like, and she was a woman. This is like unheard of, you know? So I kind of like that, you know, even though Byron was a bit of a, you know, whatever he was, I was like, it's kind of cool what came out of his escapades, or whatever you want to call them. So anyway, that is what I plan to read this weekend, what I picked up, and what I plan to read someday, who knows. Let me know if you've heard any of these books. Let me know what you think of them. If you like talking about these kind of things, if you like a good book haul, but you like peace in our time, please subscribe, and like, etc., and all the things that people say at the end of videos or the beginning of videos. And so, hope you've had a good Friday. Hope you have a good weekend. This is Catherine Taking Tea with Catherine. My cats are fighting. So like I said, can't get away from violence. Have a lovely tea and book-filled day.